Houston, we have liftoff. Welcome to this special edition of Studio 5. We are traveling to Southern California and NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory for this first look at the highly anticipated Project Hail Mary.
Please state your name.
It's 3, 2, 1, liftoff for this Studio 5 Project Hail Mary special with its producer and star, Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace.
I identified with a lot of his fear and anxiety that he's struggling with. I'm not an astronaut.
And get all the behind-the-scenes action with the writers and filmmakers.
This is a story about empathy and communication.
Our special coverage lifts off in just a moment, but first, let's jumpstart this week's look at uplifting entertainment in our top 5 countdown.
At number 5.
There was before you.
Taking me back to the night we met.
And there was during you. I never thought there would be an after you.
Is the romantic drama based on the best-selling book Reminders of Him, opening number 2 at the box office with $28 million.
This court sentences you to 7 years incarceration.
For each of you, what touched you both personally? I mean, this is a story of love, loss, forgiveness, you name it. What touched you most personally?
Love and loss, but I think for me was not only learning how to forgive others, but learning to forgive yourself.
What touched me most was, the story's about grief and love and, forgiveness. But I think it's the quiet moments that you get to see between Kenna and Ledger and really being present.
Can I ask you something? Do you hate me?
At number 4, another box office hit for Disney.
Traditional methods to understand animals just weren't working.
Disney's Hoppers held on to the top spot of the box office in its second weekend of release, bringing in another $38.5 million.
That brings its earnings to more than $86 million in just 2 weeks.
And now imagine waking up in space, light years from Earth, with a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing the sun. And the key may be an unexpected friendship. It's how this story begins for a high school science teacher in the film Project Hail Mary. Actor Ryan Gosling is the producer and the star of this film, based on a best-selling sci-fi novel.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. I just woke up from a coma.
I'm several light years from my apartment, and I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut.
I'm not an astronaut.
So you play Ryland Grace, a high school teacher. Where does Ryan Gosling see himself in Ryland Grace?
I identified with a lot of his fear and anxiety that he's struggling with in the whole movie.
It's what you Americans would call a long shot.
Hail Mary. This was definitely the hardest film I've ever made, maybe the hardest I will ever make, and it's been a 5-year journey, and the book is so beloved, and it's such I think, an important book, and people are very invested in how it's depicted, yes, and as they should, and very protective of it. So yeah, it was a challenging undertaking. Sometimes it felt like an impossible mission in its own right, and I felt very linked to the character in that way.
The sun is dying. You are the only scientist who might know what this says.
I'm just a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
You have a doctorate in molecular biology. I need you to come with us. This is Project Hail Mary.
What I admire about the character and what I loved playing was that he was able to turn his anxiety into curiosity, and I think that was really helpful for me too, which is just to stay curious about the process of how we were going to do this, and look at us, we're here. We got here.
Who on earth is going to sign up for this?
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct.
you'll find a solution.
You are my solution.
Talk to me about the physical demands of this job. A lot rides on you. We're watching you play opposite a rock, if you will, for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But the physical demands, how demanding was it?
It's by far the most that I've ever experienced. I've never had a film take a bigger piece of me, take a bigger chunk out of me than this movie did. But it's never been more worth it either.
What was it about the book that made you champion it? Because you're not just the star, you're the producer, and kind of rallied the troops, if you will, to make this happen. What happened?
I think, I got the manuscript at a time when movie theaters were closing and film productions were shutting down. And here was this book that was so hopeful. It was just, it felt like what Andy does, and why I think he's such an important voice, is that he's kind of offering us through his work an opportunity to pivot away from dystopian future ideas and to say maybe the future is not something to be feared, but to be figured out. And that maybe we're capable of a lot more than we're being told, or that we believe that we are. And so that it's a very empowering thing that I wanted to make something like that for my kids. I wanted my kids to be able to see something like that, to be a part of making something like that. And I thought other families might as well. It's about how miracles are possible. As long as you don't give up hope. It is time go.
I think you're being go time, pal.
Project Hail Mary is in theaters nationwide Friday. Still ahead, we're back at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory to chat with the film's directors, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller.
The idea that you can overcome that stuff and find a connection and a reason to be selfless is something that's very moving, and I think that is very, very relatable.
Studio 5 is expanding on YouTube, and you can help us to grow the platform by subscribing. Simply search Studio 5 with Efrem Graham. There you will discover the latest in uplifting entertainment, exclusive first looks on the latest films, music, and lifestyle content, plus one-on-one interviews with some of your favorite actors and recording artists. Simply search Studio 5 with Efrem Graham on YouTube. Please do it today.
At number 3, we pay a visit to Harlem and the famous Apollo Theater, where the entertainment world now mourns another loss.
Kiki Shepard has died. She was the longtime co-host of Showtime at the Apollo. The show filmed at Harlem's Apollo Theater, giving both professional stars and up-and-coming artists a platform to perform. Shepard was joined by several co-hosts from 1987 to 2002, including Steve Harvey, Sinbad, and Monique. Shepard also appeared on several different TV shows, including A Different World and Baywatch. She also appeared on Broadway in the 70s and 80s, a long career. Shepard died after suffering a massive heart attack yesterday. She was 74 years old.
At number 2. Sample the sounds of two powerful voices uniting. Terrian releasing this new version of her hit song, Testimony, featuring Grammy-winning gospel legend, CC1.
Welcome back to our Project Hail Mary edition of Studio 5. This sci-fi masterpiece is directed by Christopher Miller and Phil Lord.
I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. So, I met an alien. He's a genius engineer. And if I can't understand what he's saying, he puts on a little puppet show for me and my tiny brain. And you know what? I don't mind it.
For both of you, at the heart, what would you say this story is about, at the heart of it all?
I'd say this is a story about empathy and communication, and about what's possible if we can work together and overcome our differences.
And I'd also add what we're capable of
with belief.
You're a great scientist, Dr. Grace. And a great human being. The world is counting on you.
Sandra Hüller's character, who is, very strong and controls a lot of material,
yes,
right?
Indeed.
She ultimately believes in Ryan. And that belief, it's pervasive in every scene that they have. And what she does, the way she acts with him is ultimately an act of confidence. She has more confidence in him than he has in himself. And it becomes incredibly powerful.
I've never done anything. I've never done a spacewalk. I can't even moonwalk.
I have to believe it's no accident that his last name is Grace.
That was,
that was
Andy's little joke to have Hail Mary full of grace right there.
I love it. So you're reading Andy's book. As director, cinematically, what are you thinking as you turn the pages?
Well, I mean, you're thinking, first of all, what an opportunity for great spectacle, right? And what a way to do a story set largely in space that doesn't feel like a regular sci-fi movie that you've seen 100 times before. And how genre-defying it really is, because it's about a friendship. And so many of those movies that are set in space are lonely and sad and navel-gazing. This is warm, and it's funny, and it's emotional, and it's beautiful. And so the challenges of having to figure out how to make you fall in love with a rock creature is one of the first things, that seems like an exciting opportunity because it's hard. But I know that you can do it. I know that if Pixar can make you like a lamp and feel sorry for a lamp, we can make you fall in love with a creature with no face.
And ultimately, a lot of our work, we've tried to figure out ways to help people imagine goodness. And I thought that's what Andy did with his book, and it's what we tried to pull off with the movie.
At your very best, take me to the set, because watching the film, I kept wondering, I just wonder how they do this.
That's what you want.
Well, there's some good old-fashioned things. We have a bunch of really talented craftspeople. They work super hard, build these unbelievably gorgeous sets. There's no green screen anywhere in this picture.
Wow.
There's unbelievable puppetry and creature design, and you just. It's astounding. It's miraculous the way that a film crew can come together and make you believe the impossible.
Would you say there's magic on set, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, every day there's magic on set.
The secret of magic is really just an outrageous amount of preparation that boggles the imagination.
Why do you think Ryan championed this film so much?
I think Ryland Grace is someone that is easy to relate to, because he's not a hero that's Mr. Dashing, good at everything and not afraid of anything. He is a vulnerable character who has a lot of fears and self-doubt, and we all feel that way. And the idea that you can overcome that stuff and find a connection and a reason to be selfless is something that's very moving, and I think that is very, very relatable. And so I think he connected with it, and that's why we connected with it. So I think it was a great partnership.
My sheep.
Chris and Phil have collaborated on several projects together, including Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and the Lego Movie. Well, it is time now for your Studio 5 snapshot, and I'm pretty sure you can guess what it is. Project Hail Mary is spectacular on screen and in pictures, including images from the movie's starting point. Some say Gosling looking almost Jesus-like, with long hair and a beard, and he wakes up aboard a spaceship disoriented and barely recognizable to himself. And no accident in Project Hail Mary, his character's last name is Grace, as in Hail Mary, full of grace. And that is this week's Studio 5 Project Hail Mary Snapshot. Still ahead, the pens behind the production. Andy Weir wrote the novel and Drew Goddard wrote the screenplay, and we're sitting down with both at NASA's JPL facility in Southern California.
These were all unrelated ideas that I realized could all be put together to make one pretty cool story.
Studio 5 is expanding on YouTube, and you can help us to grow the platform by subscribing. Simply search Studio 5 with Efrem Graham. There you will discover the latest in uplifting entertainment, exclusive first looks on the latest films, music, and lifestyle content, plus one-on-one interviews with some of your favorite actors and recording artists. Simply search Studio 5 with Efrem Graham on YouTube. Please do it today. Welcome back to Studio 5. Here's a look at the #1 story in the world of uplifting entertainment this week.
At number 1.
Michael B. Jordan.
Snapshots and memories from this weekend's historic night at the 98th Annual Academy Awards ceremony.
Sinners taking home 4 Oscars, including Best Actor for Michael B. Jordan and his dual role.
Man, God is good. God is good. And, yeah, mama, what's up? Y'all know how I feel about my mother.
Studio 5 chatted with the actor as he directed and starred in the Creed franchise.
I imagine, as we know, this was a physical workout. How emotional of a workout was it for you?
I think, as a director, you have to obsess over it. So it's emotions are going to be involved. Every day's a fight. I'm fighting for ideas. I'm fighting for time. I'm fighting for sets, locations, wardrobe. I'm fighting for everything.
Well, that wraps this week's Uplifting Entertainment Countdown and returns us to this Studio 5 exclusive first look at Project Hail Mary. Drew Goddard wrote the screenplay and Andy Weir wrote the beloved novel.
This might be very hard for you to understand, but some people are not good at things.
You know who you are. You're gonna do great.
I conquered Zero G in 5 hours. Yeah!
Object approaching.
Oh my God.
So you both are the pens behind the production, if you will. First, what gave birth to this as a book? What happened?
It's actually sort of a pastiche of a bunch of different book ideas I had that are all glued together, and I sanded off the edges. I had one idea for what if you were an astronaut who woke up in space with no memory. Another one is I've always wanted to do a first contact story. Then another one is I was like, what if we had a mass conversion-based fuel, not in 1,000 years, but right now? And another one, a character completely lifted from a different book that I'd started, that I abandoned that book, was a woman who's in charge of everything and has unrivaled authority to solve a serious problem. These were all unrelated ideas that I realized could all be put together to make one pretty cool story.
Now, it is the hope that you would write the screenplay, and they waited for you to do it, from what I understand.
Thank God they did.
We did.
So, what were your thoughts on turning the book into a screenplay once you've read it?
Well, I'm always terrified because I don't want to let Andy down. Right? I don't like it because I love his writing so much. I feel a tremendous responsibility to do it justice. So for about half of reading the book, I was terrified, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I was too scared. Then the second half, I fell so deeply in love with it that I thought, well, now I can't let anyone else do this. So it sort of shifts. It goes from fear to love, which is often the case when I read Andy's work.
I love it. So, Andy, how do the characters we see on screen compare to those you were writing on the pages?
Well, I would say that the characters on screen are much better because, I've always considered myself a pretty good plot-related author, but I consider one of my weaknesses to be character depth and complexity. And Ryan and Sandra both brought so much more to the characters than I ever wrote into it. They added so much depth, complexity, layers, and nuance that I never added. And so the awesome thing is, thanks to all of their hard work, I'm going to be credited as writing these fantastic characters. And that works for me. I like it when other people, like Drew or whatever, do a bunch of work, and then everybody says, good job, Andy. I'm a big fan of that.
So when I'm reading the book, I feel like it's a perfect blend of soul and science. So, Drew, how do you capture that? And is that a right assessment?
I think it is, and I think for me, it's often the things that people sometimes miss about Andy's writing of why it connects so strongly is because there is this soul, this human soul, and I always start with that because I know the science and the plot that Andy's talking about. He's got that covered. It's going to work, and so it's more about finding the soul and bringing it out because that's what makes his writing so special.
I have to ask, where did Rocky come from?
Arid, the planet Arid. It's in orbit around 40 Eridani A.
How does Rocky in the book compare to the Rocky that you were envisioning?
Oh, you want me to go back in my ship? But I just got here.
The truth is, our directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the Rocky is a tour de force of creation. Like there's no other directors that could have made that work. Quite honestly, like it is a feat of engineering, it is a feat of vision, feat of design to make a rock crab with no emotions break your heart over and over throughout a movie.
With no face, yes,
with
plenty
no
of emotions.
Face. Sorry, yes.
Body language and stuff is
like. Yes, sorry.
Everybody in the production, top to bottom, everybody knew this movie lives and dies on Rocky, on the performance and presentation of Rocky, and I think they nailed it.
Oh, without question.
It's now or never.
Drew is a screenwriter, producer, and director, perhaps best known for his work in the horror films area. Andy Weir is the author of several science fiction books. He's also got a hand in comic books and graphic novels. Studio 5 is expanding on YouTube, and you can help us to grow the platform by subscribing. Simply search Studio 5 with Efrem Graham. There you will discover the latest in uplifting entertainment, exclusive first looks on the latest films, music, and lifestyle content, plus one-on-one interviews with some of your favorite actors and recording artists. Simply search Studio 5 with Efrem Graham on YouTube. Please do it today. Welcome back to Studio 5. Music helps us to bring you this show each and every week, and this week's soundtrack is inspired by Project Hail Mary. Take a listen, and you'll hear why Glory, Glory, Since I've Laid My Burdens Down is what's playing in my ear this week. This sweet version comes from Sandra Stevens and Chris Folsom.
Glory, 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 hallelujah, since I laid my burden down, glory, glory, hallelujah, since I laid my burden down.
Since I've laid my burdens down. On that musical note, we are just about out of time for this week's edition of Studio 5, so let's take a quick look at next week's rundown. For that and more next week. As for this week, we've got time for just one more thing. Let's give the final word to none other than Ryan Gosling. You said that this film took you to places you've never been, showed you things you've never seen, and that it is as heartbreaking as it is funny. How so, if you could...
And it's as like human as it is alien.
I like that.
You know? It's really, it's special. It's just, Andy's a very special voice. And yeah, it's great because it's as an experience, it's so epic and entertaining. You go to another galaxy, you make an alien best friend, and you save the world. You know, it's not bad for a Friday night.
Not bad at all.
But it's not, I think, an escapist film. I think it's really about reminding us what we're capable of. So I think that's where the emotional element comes, why people who are seeing the film are so emotional seeing it, because it's really like pretty affirming.
Ryan, thank you so much. That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and for this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on back and see what Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.